65th Independence Day in Nigeria. And as usual, the usual speech by the president highlighting the achievement of government, depending on the government in power, like what we heard today, just the achievement of the APC and all of that. But Nigeria is now like a man who is 65 years old and is here to find his purpose in life. Nigeria is like a 65 years old man who is still trying to crawl, because it has gone beyond just sitting. Nigeria is still trying to crawl, especially when you do a comparative analysis of Nigeria the last 65 years. When you do a comparative analysis, of Nigeria with other countries who got independence almost at the same time, you find out that Nigeria is still, trying to find its feet. It's just like a 65-year-old man who doesn't know his purpose yet in life. That's what Nigeria is. So, and if you look at, the indices, you want to look at insecurity, which is, within the last 65 years, other countries are growing, even if they have not really made appreciable progress. That's some other countries in Africa, but Nigeria is retrogressing. While other countries are going up, Nigeria is growing downwards in terms of the security, in terms of education, the economy. You want to talk about, development. The population is rising at a geometric rate, and we don't see development trying to meet up with the level of population increase that we see in Nigeria. The facilities that we see with Nigeria is still more of an urban bias kind of development. You just see different governors who come in over the years, and then they do roads. I think that's all that matters. And Nigeria has gotten even worse since 1999, since Nigeria returned to democracy. All we just see is just celebration of Independence Day with long speeches that do not even make any sense, and budget that over the last 20 years or more, we've not seen budget implementation up to 60-70%. Budget implementation, nobody's asking this question. Budget implementation, maybe 20-40%. That healthcare has not gone up. The old electricity generation is still, imagine a country still grappling, still sharing 4,000 megawatts, when some industries in China and the rest of them, industrial areas, use over 100,000 megawatts. Nigeria is still sharing around 4,500 megawatts, despite all the huge resources that have been expended in that sector. And then we see healthcare. Healthcare is still down the drain. Nigeria is not yet, there in terms of government hospitals. Every day we see governors, building mega hospitals that their children cannot visit, hospitals that their family cannot visit, hospitals that even themselves, when they have headache, they have to fly out. And yes, we applaud these people for spending taxpayers' money to build hospitals that they cannot use. In the last 65 years, to be honest, the only thing that I've seen, rise astronomically is elitism, corruption. They've divided. It's only in Nigeria you see people whose preoccupation or people whose occupation is just politics, and they are richer than even people who do business. It's only in Nigeria that you see that kind of thing happen. People occupation is just politics, or they are a brother or sister to somebody who holds public office, and then by virtue of that they are billionaires. It's only in Nigeria you see that kind of thing happen. Another thing that's been on the rise in Nigeria that's not retrogressed is ethnicity and religion. We are still not a united country. Whether there's nothing anybody will tell me, because we see that all the time when it comes to elections, when it comes to public policy, when it comes to government talking about one thing or the other, they will bring ethnicity and religion into it. Ethnicity and religion has not made us have effective leadership, in Nigeria since, then Nigeria is now even more polarized along ethnic and religious lines. Otherwise, go and check previous elections, and then you see the role ethnicity and religion play. And just to let you know that even the very foundation of Nigeria itself, 65 years ago, was founded, the division started about 65 years ago, and it has even gone even worse. And What has polarized Nigeria is ethnicity and religion. So it's even the very foundation upon which Nigeria was founded. That's why we cannot get it right. So that's the only thing that has grown astronomically within the last 65 years. Our debt has grown so high since the last 65. Corruption, shambled elections up till now, 65 years down the line. Nigeria cannot get election right. It's even getting worse. Poverty is one thing that has grown overnight in Nigeria the last 65 years. It has now grown from just ordinary poverty to multidimensional poverty. Unemployment. These are the things that have grown so much within the last 65 years, while other things that are supposed to improve the lives and welfare of the people have retrogressed. And the primary essence of government, which is to, for security and welfare, has now gone down the drain. What we have is just cosmetic governance, is what we've had in the last 65 years. So I want to ask a pertinent question here. Irrespective of your political affiliation, of your ethnic affiliation, please be very honest. Is there anything to celebrate? Is there anything to celebrate? Please drop your comments. I want to hear them. And just tell me why we should celebrate. We know we've made some gains, little gain, but the losses far outweighs some of the gains. When you look at the resources that Nigeria has in terms of agriculture and all of that. So tell me, is there anything to celebrate? I want to hear from you. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, share, and subscribe. God bless Nigeria.